Hello and welcome. This is DZ Maven again with another Gunpla review. Today I'm going to be looking at an older kit again. Last time I talked about the Master Grade Gundam 1.0, and it's probably only fitting that I kind of move on to the next iteration of the Master Grade Gundam, which is the 1.5. And in this case, I had the special Char's Assemble version of the Gundam. I think it's actually called Casval's Gundam. But anyway, here it is. All nice and red. Sort of a dark red and a salmon pink, the traditional Char Assemble colors. Grab it here and get a closer look at it. So I went ahead and did a little bit of reading up on this Gundam here. The actual history behind it. This is not actually a captured RX-78 two unit just repainted in red here. From what I understand, this is a completely new Gundam that was built by Zeon, and this is in sort of the alternate timeline of the Girhen's Greed video game, is kind of where this came from. But basically it's a Zeon suit that's built to look like a Gundam, but inside it's supposed to be all Zeon components and everything, so you can kind of do your own imagination how that works out, but yeah. So, and this unit was given to Char Assemble, who later, I guess, reclaimed his name of Casval Remdaiken and decided to lead an uprising against Zeon, because then, as you can see, he's got Neo Zeon insignias on this suit. So Casval started Neo Zeon with this suit in the timeline of the video game. So interesting backstory behind it. So, but anyway, this is the Gundam 1.5. I actually have 3 of these kits here. The other 2 are the regular ones. One of them I painted up, one I used for spare parts, and I got this one. This is the red Casval's version, which I thought looked pretty interesting looking, so I picked this up a long time ago here. Now, the thing about the 1.5 kit is that it's not an entirely new Master Grade. It shares a lot of components with the 1.0 Gundam. I'll probably say about probably a little over half of it is new components, but the rest is still the old Gundam 1.5 components. As you can see here, it still has the same shield from the 1.5, which still kind of sucks, because it can only really hold the shield that way. The arms are mostly the same as the 1.0 kit. The only real difference is going to be in these elbow joints here. These are new joints. They have about the same bend on them, so I'm not really going to go through showing that again. The torso area is new. It's not as detailed as before. Unfortunately, they still kept the same cockpit hatch on here, which still doesn't really open that well. The head sculpt is entirely new. They do give you a sticker for this little red piece on the V-fin. Unfortunately, they don't give you a separate part for that. It kind of sucks here, but. And if you look at this head sculpt, this is kind of where the modernized version of the Gundam's head sculpt started. Was probably right around here, because it hasn't really changed a whole lot from the sculpt since then. I mean, there's been a few slight variations like the Origin Gundam, but other than that, it's stayed relatively consistent since this time here. And I believe this is modeled more after the perfect grade head of the Gundam. The backpack is the same thing with the same beam sabers. You get down to the waist. I believe this back area is the old 1.0, but as you go around to the front and the side skirts, these are all new parts, I believe, down here. And going all the way down from that, you have entirely new leg parts. And these legs have an inner frame to them. This is probably one of the first times that Bandai started really showing off the inner frame flexibility, because this thing can do a complete bend of the leg. In addition, it does have little hatches that open up on the legs here. They're a little hard to get to, but that can open up there, and that can open up down there a little bit. The feet sculpt was changed also. It's looks like the more modern style a little bit. My foot is a little bit broken on mine. So it kind of broke at some point. I don't know when, but it could have been forward about that much and been up that much. It's still one piece of fare here you're dealing with, but still, it's a lot better than the legs on the 1.0 kit here. Also, the shoulders are shaped a little differently on this one here. But also, funny enough, you still get most of the parts for the 1.0 kit with the 1.5 Gundam, so you can still use those for scrap parts if you want. You still have the same hands, which are not that great, but in addition to that, Bandai did improve this by giving you these sort of fixed trigger hands with the 1.5 Gundam. These are designed to open up like so, and then sort of clasp around the grip of the beam rifle and the bazooka. They actually work pretty well for the most part, and these are probably preferable if you don't want to use these awful hands that don't really hold things very well. So you do, for the 1.5 kit, you do get the same accessories as the 1.0. Your bazooka, beam sabers, beam rifle, and you get your core fighter, which remains unchanged. It's the same type of core fighter from the 1.0 kit, so no change there. But in addition to that, you do get the beam javelin. It kind of comes on a little beam saber handle with what looks like a little stalk attached to the end of it. And you do get this beam tip part, effect part. This thing comes in clear plastic. If you want this to look pink, you're going to have to paint it or do something with it, because otherwise it comes clear. I painted up mine so it looks like it's pink the way it should be. In addition to that, you do get the awesome Gundam hammer, which is hard to put in the frame because it kind of bolts around, but there it is. The Gundam hammer is it's not entirely a unique weapon to the first Gundam. The Turn A Gundam used the Gundam hammer also. But you do get that, and what's really neat about that is that it does come with a plastic chain. This is an extra one I had. But this is a plastic chain. It all comes pre-molded this way, so you don't have to sit there and try and put all the links together, which is really, it's thoughtful on Bandai's part. I mean, honestly, who would want to do that anyway? Comes with a lot of zinc, and there are a couple of these little paperclip-like links that open up, and you can attach to the ends, and now attach to the hammer and the handle to it. So, and you also get your beam sabers. These are the same beam sabers as the 1.0 kit. You do get a beam rifle. Now I do want to make a big asterisk here, which I noticed when I pulled this thing out. This here is actually not the beam rifle that comes with this kit. You get the same beam rifle from the 1.0 Gundam with this kit. This rifle here, I don't know when I got this or how I acquired it, but this is a special add-on beam rifle part, which is modeled after the perfect grade version of the beam rifle. Because see, this thing opens up like this, so you can see the internals and everything. It looks a little nicer. I don't remember how I got this. This is probably a special giveaway add-on part for some of the kits many years ago. It can kind of hold this. Unfortunately, these trigger grip hands do not fit on this because the handle is too big. But I think I scrapped the other original beam rifles that came with this kit and used it in something else. So that's why it doesn't have that. So it has this other beam rifle instead here. Let's see. I think there's really not a whole lot else I can talk about the 1.5 Gundam. Is it still a good kit? It's decent. The one thing I don't really like about this kit is that the arms are still the 1.0 Gundam style, so they don't really have a good bend in them, and the hands are still kind of crappy on this. It's not as floppy as the 1.0 kit. It's a little more stable. I kind of wish the shield was changed because I don't like this shield. This shield is very hard to stick on. See, it already kind of came off anyway, so it came off there. But other than that, it's actually a pretty decent kit. You just want a Gundam that kind of stands and just looks good. You don't have to worry about posing it. I mean, the 1.5 Gundam is still okay. It's still okay by today's standards, I'd say. And they're not that expensive. Like I said, I got like 3 of them because they were kind of cheap at the time when I got them. So, and yeah, so that's the 1.5 Gundam. It's okay kit. I'm just gonna say it's okay. So anyway, so it's kind of a little more, over half new stuff with this kit. So, but yeah. Anyway, good kit, and that's about all I really got to say with it. Beam Javelin and Gundam Hammer. I don't remember, yeah, I don't think those came with the 2.0 kit, so if you want the Beam Javelin and the Hammer, you kind of want to get the 1.5 kit for those. So, anyway, that's going to be it, and more reviews coming. Take care, y'all, and have a great December. Yep. Bye-bye.